who, they don't judge me. They just love me for me. They accept me for me.
Totally support you in whatever you do.
They've got my back. Knows the perfect moment to send me that text.
Unconditional friendship. No matter what happens, they are always there for you.
Whether you are in a good mood, bad mood.
You know, no matter what, nothing you say or do is going to cause them to run away from you.
It's impossible for any of us, I believe, to do whatever we do alone.
A group of women is just an amazing thing to have.
They're the ones that will be really honest, support you, that encourage you, and kick you in the butt.
I'm the one who's doing the kicking.
And there are just things that women understand about other women that, let's be honest, men don't always understand. You don't even have to say a whole lot of words, they just get it. So you need your tribe.
They're the people that when you're thinking, man, I need my girls, they're the ones you're turning to.
That's my definition of a friend for life.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Juliette Regas.
And I'm Val Lego. Tomorrow is the 13th of the month, Friends for Life Day.
For more than 20 years, WZZM 13 has been committed to encouraging women to know they're normal, do monthly breast self-exams, and get yearly mammograms by teaming up with a friend for life. 1 in 8 American women will develop breast cancer over the course of their lifetime.
And one of the best ways to improve the chances of survival is early detection. And that's in addition to monthly breast self-exams, mammograms, and regular doctor screenings. It's also recommended that you know you're normal. So don't forget to call your friend for life. It could be the call that saves her life. And tonight, some encouraging news when it comes to breast cancer.
New numbers show how far we have come in the fight. According to the American Cancer Society, deaths from the disease have dropped nearly 40% in the past 25 years. That works out to more than 322,000 lives saved. Researchers say early detection through mammograms plus better treatment led to that decline. But that doesn't take away the fact that some women are more at risk because of the type of breast tissue they have. Women with dense breasts are 5 times more likely to develop breast cancer, which is why Michigan recently passed a breast density law requiring doctors to inform women when they do have dense breast tissue. 40% of women in Michigan have dense breasts, but even fewer know what that means.
And this is a side-by-side, one breast without dense tissue and one with. And you can see that the one with dense tissue is white. Here's why that's a problem. Cancer also shows up white on a mammogram. So if you have dense breasts, it's very difficult to see if there's something suspicious. This information can be both life-saving and expensive, as one West Michigan mom learned. These friends have been giving each other digs.
We're actually still arguing about which one of us is a better blocker.
For more than 25 years. But the real game changer came just a few months ago.
Because I didn't feel it. I had no idea it was there.
When Brenda got the call.
I was with my son at a track meet, and it was just a moment of, oh my gosh, I think I have cancer.
She had breast cancer. But Brenda was lucky.
They caught it so early. There's no chemo. I just do radiation, a lumpectomy instead of mastectomy.
Thanks to Michigan's new breast density law, her medical record was flagged, and her doctor told her her dense breast tissue could put her at risk for breast cancer. It's a bill her friend for life and breast cancer advocate Jen Durgans worked hard to get passed.
We push to have this made into a law in Michigan so that if a woman has dense breast tissue, she has the right to know that the mammogram might not be the best test for her. And that's exactly what it did in Brenda's case.
But there was a catch.
So it's frustrating that the insurance companies aren't covering it.
The test that could save Brenda's life cost $2,000. It was enough to make her think twice. And that's when her best friend gave her an assist.
I just wasn't going to let her off the hook. I just had to know for sure.
And Brenda agreed.
Why am I even questioning my health? You know, I have a history of cancer, so it's worth every penny to find it early.
Brenda's MRI found a lump, and it was cancer. But because it was caught so early, Brenda's treatment wasn't as invasive. 2 weeks after her lumpectomy, she was back on the court and only needs 30 days of radiation. And having a friend for life like Jen made a difference too.
When it's one of your friends, we owe it to each other to make sure that these things get taken care of.
So there's more time to laugh at the good times.
So much fun.
That was so much fun. Kids, weddings, really good hair, photos, some big hair, some smaller hair.
Yes.
Always blonde hair.
And keep the lifelong rivalry going.
Who's the big hitter?
Yes.
So that.
Who is?
Well, I am.
I was yesterday.
She was yesterday.
So here's the takeaway. Without this legislation, many women would be missing that early stage breast cancer diagnosis. Here's a look at how the bottom dollar is affected when you compare an early diagnosis with a late stage breast cancer diagnosis. An early stage breast cancer diagnosis like Brenda's costs about $80,000. A later stage breast cancer can cost upwards of $400,000 between surgery and treatment, not to mention an additional $900 a month for medication you'll need to be on for the rest of your life. Now, in addition to the breast density bill, the state of Michigan is raising awareness for a particularly deadly type of breast cancer. A proclamation from Michigan Governor Rick Snyder declared October 13th, 2017 as Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day. The proclamation also calls for more research on metastatic breast cancer so new and more effective treatments can be developed. He first made the proclamation last year on October 13th.
For every breast cancer diagnosis, there is a fighter, a woman who's willing to do whatever it takes to beat breast cancer, like Tamika Birch. This past Mother's Day was extra special for Tamika because she was fighting breast cancer not just for herself, but for her children.
Taking a shower and I felt a lump.
And Tamika Birch did not wait. With a family history of breast cancer, she knew.
But you can't be scared because early detection is the key. They have so much technology now, so people are beating it, women are beating it all the time.
She was diagnosed with an aggressive cancer last October and had a battle ahead, so she made a decision.
I'm whooping cancer's butt.
She started treatment with the most potent dosage of chemo her body could take.
I have 4 kids, and that was the most important thing. That's what kept me going. Some days I wanted to give up. I couldn't get out of bed. The chemo had me sick, mouth sores. But I would look at my kids and I was like, well, Tamika, you have no choice. So I just had to keep going.
Her 4 children are between the ages of 8 and 22, and only her oldest, Corey, knew.
I was like, I need my mom here, so what can I do to help her get through this?
The roles between mother and daughter reversed. Corey took care of her mother.
My mom's my best friend, and to see her go through it, I thought she was going to be sad. So that's why I did all the support things.
I walk into that chemo, I was like, hey, they was like, hey, Miss Sassy.
Not sad, but sassy.
It's a serious thing, but it doesn't have to be sad.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Tamika's pink boxing gloves are helping her knock out cancer.
Tamika's strong. You know, I'm kicking cancer's butt. Why not kick it in style?
So when she decided to tell everyone she has breast cancer, she did it with a photo shoot, wearing her pink gloves.
I wanted to come out, but I didn't want to come out sad. I didn't want people to be, you know, sad and depressed, so I wanted to do some pictures, some fun pictures, not sad pictures.
And this Mother's Day is going to be extra special.
It's probably the most important Mother's Day that I've ever had. To be grown and to see my mom go through this, I appreciate her.
I love living, I love life, I love my kids. My kids are my life.
Now, Tamika was diagnosed 1 year ago, and she went through that intense chemotherapy followed by radiation. Now, she just finished her radiation at the end of August, and she's just as sassy as ever. In fact, over the weekend, she did this. She dyed her hair bright pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh, what a spunky woman. Tamika is very open about her breast cancer and doesn't hesitate to remind other women about their breast health.
Just care enough about yourself to make sure that you're okay. Most of the time, we just go through life and it's about everybody and everything else, and then we always put ourselves last. But we have to be here and be healthy to help others. So you have to be on top of it, on top of your own health.
Welcome back to this WCZM 13 Friends for Life special. When it comes to a breast cancer diagnosis, there are many decisions a woman needs to make, including how to manage her chemotherapy. In the United States, chemotherapy is recommended every 2 weeks, but a new study out of Europe finds every 3 weeks can be just as effective. We looked into the results of this new study that compares long and short-term treatments. Women who are faced with a breast cancer journey want to get through it as safely and, in some cases, as fast as possible. That's one of the reasons why, for the past 15 years, women who need chemotherapy treatment have been treated every 2 weeks. But a new Swedish study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association may change that.
This is a very interesting trial.
Dr. Thomas Gribben is the medical director for Mercy Health Black's Cancer Center in Grand Rapids.
They compared 1,000 women with getting chemo on a every 2-week schedule with 1,000 women getting it on an every 3-week schedule. The results were very similar between the two groups, and what that means is that the likelihood of the cancer coming back was low in both groups.
With that new information, it gives women something to consider when making a decision about their chemotherapy treatment.
Reasons to give the 2-week schedule would be to be done a month earlier, and that's important to some women. Reasons to give the 3-week schedule is that we can skip some of the other medications that we would give to support the white blood cell count, and so it represents a potentially less expensive alternative.
This study opens up the opportunity for women to discuss with their doctors their preference, and for doctors to consider which path is best for their patients.
The doctors who administer that treatment really focus on getting women through it safely. This is one more way to look at that. Can we change the time schedule to do it more safely?
Finding the resources to help women through their diagnosis can be challenging. Fortunately, Susan G. Komen Michigan is able to help many local women through grants. One of their biggest fundraising events, Grand Rapids Race for the Cure, which takes place every September. Last month, hundreds came out to walk, run, and most importantly, support and honor our breast cancer survivors and fighters. But the race is so much more than just a one-day event. It saves lives all year long.
And I just couldn't believe it. It was like a pink sea of support.
Renelle Ward will never forget her first race for the cure.
Going through cancer and I was 32 when I was diagnosed.
Renelle learned about breast cancer as a teenager when her grandmother was first diagnosed.
My grandma's had it 3 times. When I was in high school, it was the first time she was diagnosed, and they had the pamphlets on how to do self-breast exams, and that's how I learned or taught myself how to do a self-exam.
When she found a lump, she went straight to her grandmother, who called the doctor. Renelle had 3 children, a part-time job, and no health insurance.
We had to worry about the biopsy, the mammogram, the actual, the surgery. It was just like, okay, how am I supposed to pay for this on top of all of the concerns for my health?
That's when she was introduced to the Susan G. Komen organization, where she was able to get a grant to cover her medical bills.
And I've always said that there have been little angels that have kind of guided me along the way, and Susan G. Komen and some of the ladies there that I've met were some of the first people that really took the fear, I guess, away from what I was going through.
Within days, Renelle had a biopsy, a mammogram, surgery, then began chemotherapy. 5 years later, she is cancer-free.
Without the Susan G. Komen Foundation, I know my treatment would have been delayed.
75% of the funds raised at Race for the Cure stay in the community to help fight breast cancer and patients like Renelle.
I am standing here as a spokesperson that actually benefited from those grants, and I thank God, because without people that gave back to Susan G. Komen, it wouldn't have been afforded to me.
And not too long ago, women did not talk about breast cancer or breast health. They never even mentioned the word breast.
No, they sure didn't, but talking about it is making a difference in creating awareness. Rockin' the Runway is a fashion show featuring local breast cancer survivors who share their stories of inspiration and are the featured models.
And there is an emphasis on diversity, since African American women and other women of color have higher death rates from breast cancer, and that is why early detection is so important.
Well, many women dread the thought of getting a mammogram and worry about the pain and discomfort.
So why not go with your friend for life, make a day out of it, share the mammogram experience.
We hear all these stories, right, about what a mammogram would be like.
I was scared. I thought it was gonna hurt.
I don't really know how it got that reputation.
I'll tell you, mammograms are a piece of cake. They take your bits and they put them in a machine and they do a little bit of smashing.
The squeezing and the pressing and the pulling.
But it doesn't hurt, doesn't take too long, and then you're out.
And I was like, oh, I feel so much better that I did this.
Everything is good. Those are the best words ever after a mammogram.
You're ready for a cocktail? Clean bill, let's go.
So why would we wait?
This 13 Friends for Life segment is sponsored by the Comprehensive Breast Centers at Mercy Health. For women who are in the season of life where mammograms are a regular course of preventative health care, it's difficult to keep up with all the changes in the rules. When should you have your first one, and then how often? And what kind of mammogram should you have? Dr. Courtney Garlick is a fellowship-trained breast radiologist and the medical director of the Mercy Health Comprehensive Breast Center in Muskegon. She's here with answers to some of those questions. Welcome.
Thank you.
It does feel like it changes all the time, and it's hard to keep up with.
It is, and there are lots of varying recommendations, so it makes it difficult and confusing for women. But we in the breast imaging world still strongly recommend annual screening starting at age 40 for an average risk woman.
Okay, so an average risk woman, what do you mean by that?
So a woman that doesn't have any increased risk factors due to family history or any other types of issues, and then that are also asymptomatic.
And why is that screening at 40 important?
It's so important because actually mammograms have been proven to decrease the risk of dying from breast cancer by close to 40%. So, and it's really the only proven screening tool we have that has been proven to decrease the risk of mortality.
Now, so you mentioned the women who, have a average reason to be concerned at age 40. There are some women who need to be vigilant far before that, correct?
Yeah, especially with women that have a strong family history or might have a genetic predisposition for breast cancer. And so those women, we have high-risk programs that if you have any reason to think that you might be high risk for, due to maybe mom or sister had breast cancer, we have high-risk programs that can stratify you and also get you into additional screening programs if indicated.
So there are some limitations, though, to the screening, right?
There are. So mammograms, they're not perfect, but they're the best tool we have initially. But for women with dense breast tissue especially, dense breast tissue looks white on mammograms, but so does cancer. So that's why it's really important to figure out your risk, because you may qualify for additional screening such as ultrasound or possibly even MRI.
Yeah, or there's this 3D mammography.
Or even 3D, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, describe what that is.
So 3D is great. It's a newer technology that I personally love. And so what it is that we can actually look through slices through the breast instead of just looking at a 2D image. And so one person that kind of related it to me, and I think this is a great example, is like instead of being able to, or instead of having to look through the whole book through the cover, where everything would be overlying itself, you can actually turn the pages through the book.
Wow, and by looking one page or one slice at a time, you're getting a look at it.
A better look, yep.
Far more detailed. And the importance, the messaging about breast cancer has changed over the years as well. We used to say, do that self-exam and look for abnormalities. Now you say, no, you're normal.
Right.
What does that really mean?
Well, what it really means is that every woman, has a normal just feel to the breast and what's normal for them. And just get to know that, because if you notice any changes, that should prompt you to go see your doctor.
All right, it's all about that relationship and going to see your physician. You can learn more about the Comprehensive Breast Centers at Mercy Health on their website. We have put a link to it on our own site at WZZM13.com under Friends for Life.
The topic of breast cancer is a serious one.
But as with most things in life, it is important to have a positive attitude and a sense of humor.
They have been a part of my life since I was about 10 years old.
I've been blessed with symmetry, so I guess I'll say that,
I like them. They're nice.
They look good in the shirt. Got plenty of attention.
They make you sexy.
I liked them. Not always, but they were mine.
They define my femininity.
They frame my fashion.
They're what makes a woman.
They're just mine. That's enough for me.
I have grown a stronger attachment to them after having children and being able to nurse. For 43, they weren't so bad.
They change a lot over time.
Oh yeah, as I got older, they got a little saggy.
Give them some support. They need a little support.
I was like, where you guys going? You gotta stay up here.
They were always too little, too big, too this, too that. You always think the grass is greener. You always think something is better.
You always want what you don't have.
Something happened, and now I love them just the way that they are. I like them the way that they are. They're part of who I am. It's part of me.
I wouldn't change them for the world.
That's about it. That's about it.
It is so nice that we can talk about this.
I absolutely love it. It's great to have girlfriends to do that with. And we want to thank you for joining us for this WZZM 13 Friends for Life special, and we hope that we have inspired you to take charge of your health and gather your girlfriends together to join in the fight against breast cancer.
And we would like you to join our circle of girlfriends on our Friends for Life Facebook page. Just search 13 Friends for Life, and there you'll find advice, support, and reminders on the 13th of every month.
You can also schedule your mammogram, take a quiz to find out your risk for breast cancer, and learn more about options when it comes to breast cancer treatment at WZZM13.com/friends.
And please remind your friend for life to do that monthly breast self-exam, to get your regular doctor screenings, have a yearly mammogram, and know you're normal.
Because finding breast cancer early is the best way to beat it.
Talk about battling breast cancer once you've had a diagnosis. And I promised myself years ago, after seeing so many different people that I loved be diagnosed, that I wouldn't wait for a diagnosis to start battling breast cancer. I would start right now, making the daily choices that I make to try to outpace breast cancer. That was it. That's what I wanted to say.